Even though I work for myself, managing my time is really tough and I have to do it well. Hey everyone, welcome to this video. Do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for, click the subscription link down below, click the notification link, and I'll see you on the video. So when I was a teacher in high school, it seemed like my job never ended when it came to grading. If there was a test, if there was homework or whatever, grading was like a never-ending job for a teacher. But one thing about a teacher is I got to show up at a certain time and leave at a certain time. And it was very controlled. Owning my own business, I'm definitely more busier than a teacher. I definitely put in more hours than I was teaching. So some people think, okay, because I work for myself, I have all the time freedom in the world. And that's a false misconception of anyone wanting to work for themselves. However, there are times, and what I do love is I can dictate my schedule, where like a couple weeks ago, I took some time off with my two boys and my wife, and we went to the lake and jumped in and swam a while. Or I'll go to my son's graduation. He just graduated from kindergarten. Or I'll do something like that and I'll be able to dictate and take time off. But if you improvise your day, you're gonna have to put the time in later. I have a lot more responsibility, especially with the company I'm involved in right now. As you all know, it's larger than I ever thought it would be. So I have to manage my time. So in order to manage your time, you have to plan your day accordingly. Number one is what needs to get done today. Like when I wake up and I start off my day, what are my accomplishments? What do I want to get done? What projects am I working on? What absolutely needs to be done? What time do I want to get it done in? And prioritize what needs to happen first, second, third, fourth. Now, one of the biggest things for me that has helped me out a lot is two things. Number one is I have a calendar that I block off my schedule, and I let other people know what my schedule is like. Now, to go a full day without being interrupted is unrealistic. However, to go a full day and to have scheduled interruptions in there is totally doable. For an example, maybe from 7 to 10, I'm working on a project, and 10 to 11, I'm making phone calls, I'm doing something. And from 11 to 11:30, I could get interrupted at any given moment for any reason. So if someone comes in my office and they say, hey, can I have a minute? And if I look at them and I say, can it wait till 11 or can it wait till 3? 99% of the time, they're gonna say, yeah, no problem. If it's an emergency, obviously, if the building's on fire or something's happening, our website's down, happens, yes, interrupt me in a heartbeat. I'm gonna put that fire out, and then once it gets put out, I go back to my normal schedule and I go to working on what I was doing. Very powerful. When you do this, you take control of your schedule, you take control of your time. Not only will other people respect your time more, you will also respect it a lot more when that happens. Like, you're gonna realize the power that you're accomplishing and what you're doing. You're gonna realize the power of accomplishment and how you're accomplishing certain tasks throughout the day. Now, a couple ways to make this happen and a couple ways to be able to do this that I highly recommend. Just like when I always say, when you're doing a surplus fund deal for the first time, start off small. Start off small. Like, start doing this at a couple hours at a time and learn how to take control of your schedule, and then fully block out your calendar. Do it by trial and error. You're probably not going to do it perfect the first time, but make it 3, 4, 5% better by day 2, that much higher by day 3, and hopefully within a week to 2 weeks, you'll have this mastered and you'll be able to do it. Plan family events that you want to do with your family or off time, and then put that in your schedule too. Don't just wake up impromptu and say, hey, I'm going to do this today, and totally have your day chaos. But plan your day accordingly, and then knowing you have that time off, maybe you have to put in a little bit more the night before, maybe you have to put in a little more that night, depending on your schedule and what you do. So another key area on this, as I get ready to wrap up this video, is write out your schedule on what you're doing every single day. So say you walk in your office at 8 o'clock and you're checking your email. And by the way, I have found that I do not check my email first thing in the morning, because when I do, it throws me off the whole day. I do check the email later on in the morning, but there's other tasks I want to accomplish. So what I'll do is I'll write 8 a.m. email, 8:10, whatever you're doing, write it down. I have a little organizational chart. It's like a T-chart. You can put the time and then write down what you're doing. Then go back and look at that T-chart and what can you weed out? Because a lot of times if my cell phone is in front of me and I pick it up and I'm checking my messages, I write that down. And then if I'm looking at it again, I write that down. Then if I realize that my cell phone is being that big of a distraction, I might have it out of my sight and complete it out of my sight for a while. I have found that when I do that, I'm really not missing any calls or any time, and it helps me be able to manage my time better. Facebook. So we have a group page in Facebook that I often check and go and look at. However, if my Facebook is open, I'll get instant messages and private messages. And what I find is 20 minutes later, I'm chatting with Facebook, looking at where someone went on vacation that I'm gonna forget 5 minutes later, so I might as well as not even have it open. So I do have set times in my calendar where I interact with the Facebook group every single day because people have questions and we have a support on there, and there's a time where I go and I answer support questions. But you've really got to plan out your day, write out your calendar, start asking yourself, what can I take out? What can I put in place of that that's going to be that much more productive? Like if you have a surplus fund business, can you be pulling up a list? Can you be making phone calls? Can you be talking to potential clients? Whatever it is you're doing, you're writing that out and you're doing it. And this will help your calendar. This will help you out. So I challenge you to write out your schedule on what it should look like. Now, for me, when I worked, I would, and I know I said I was going to be done here, so I've got this thought that I'm just going to finish up here. When I worked, I was obviously in the classroom for 8 hours a day, and I couldn't just sit there and work on my business. So what I would do is I would put in times where I could work on my business. Sometimes for the first hour after school, I would sit at my desk and I would go and work on my business there. I'd go down to Starbucks, I'd work on my business there. Sometimes I would grade papers and do stuff at home, and we had what was called the prep time where we get time to do stuff at work. I'd improvise and do the work at home for school, and then that prep time during school I would put toward my business. And some people would say, oh, that's wrong. I'd put in the time and do stuff, but you've got to plan your schedule out where, especially if you work, where you could be putting your business in with your work schedule, and it's tough. Been there, done that. It's not easy to do. I know it's not, but if you're consistent, I always say if you're consistent, you're going to see results. It's like all the videos that I talk about building up habit, building up continuity. You do something every single day, you're going to see results that are going to start paying off. And I find right now, like I have deals that are paying me off from months ago that I've been working on. And what I do today might pay off in 4 or 5 months, but it's great. So you've got to have that mentality as you're working your business. Hey everybody, I want to thank you again for watching this video. Feel free to comment if you have anything to add on. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, click below. If you haven't clicked the notification link, click below, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you again for watching.